How did one island rule the world? How did a small island nation, with limited resources and no global power, come to control nearly a quarter of the entire world? At its peak, the British Empire ruled over continents, shaped global trade, and changed history forever. But power never lasts forever. In the 1500s, England was not a global superpower. It was a small kingdom surrounded by stronger European nations like Spain and Portugal. At that time, England had no vast colonies and no global dominance. But everything began to change during the Age of Exploration. As naval technology improved, England started looking beyond its borders, toward the oceans. And that decision would change the world forever. The turning point came in 1588. England defeated the powerful Spanish Armada at sea. This victory proved something important. England could now challenge global superpowers. Soon after, Britain began establishing colonies in North America, and with the creation of the East India Company, trade with Asia began to expand rapidly. This was the beginning of a global empire. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the British Empire expanded rapidly. India became known as the jewel of the crown. Canada, Australia, Africa, and the Caribbean all came under British control. At its height, Britain ruled lands across every continent. It was said, the sun never sets on the British Empire, because somewhere in the world, British territory was always in daylight. By the early 1900s, Britain had become the most powerful empire in the world. It controlled global trade routes, dominated the seas, and influenced world politics. London became the financial capital of the world. The Royal Navy ruled the oceans without challenge. But even at its peak, cracks were forming beneath the surface. The First World War changed everything. Britain suffered heavy losses and massive financial debt. Although it won the war, it was no longer the same global power. Around the world, colonized nations began demanding freedom. Nationalism was rising, and the empire was starting to weaken. The final blow came after the Second World War. Britain was financially exhausted, its military strength was weakened, and its colonies were no longer willing to stay under control. In 1947, India gained independence. This marked the beginning of the end of the British Empire. One by one, colonies broke free, until the empire that once ruled the world disappeared. Although the British Empire no longer exists, its influence still remains across the world. English became a global language. Legal and political systems in many countries are based on British models, and the Commonwealth still connects former colonies. The empire may have fallen, but its impact still shapes our modern world. The British Empire rose from a small island kingdom to become the largest empire in human history. It shaped nations, economies, and the modern world itself. But history always reminds us one truth: no empire lasts forever. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to subscribe to History Beyond Borders.